We'll just close that down. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, because hey, I'm on video, right? And from my understanding, you can take my voice and just a few seconds, 30 seconds of me on video, and you can have me say anything you want, which might be safer than having me say what I want. But I just wanted to warn you that deep fakes are coming, and it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy when they put Jimmy Fallon on. I don't know. I can't think of any modern Jennifer Aniston's head or something. You can figure those out, right? What's scary to me is when they put words in someone's mouth. And so here's, just in case you don't remember, here is President Obama talking about deep fakes and how serious they could be. Now, what happened here? Something happened. Something completely different happened. I love it how this. That's not right. Firefox. This could be it. There it is. Okay, that's pretty good considering I'm obviously not too good at what I'm doing. And now we got to fit to screen. And there it's kind of working, sort of. We'll give it that for the moment, okay? And give it a go.
Our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time.
Former President Barack Obama, right?
So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right.
Wrong.
You see, I would never say these things, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele.
Comedian Jordan Peele actually produced this video to warn about the future of fake news.
I like the sign off here.
Purchased and done at home, and within a few days, you can manufacture what someone says.
Okay, the news item isn't as funny.
Most people use it for harmless fun, like
hang on,
inserting Nicolas Cage into movies where he doesn't belong. But it can be scary stuff. Recently, hackers took this image of Parkland High School senior Emma Gonzalez tearing up a gun range target for Teen Vogue. They manipulated it to come up with a clip that appeared to show her tearing up the Constitution instead. Just the sort of nefarious use Jordan Peele and BuzzFeed, which co-produced the video, is warning about.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
The message here...
Oh, it's funnier. The real video is funnier, and I apologize for that. So Facebook basically says they're gonna ban stuff that isn't funny, which ought to be hard for them to tell, since I don't think they have a particularly good sense of humor. So if a photo or video rated partially false by a fact checker, we might reduce its distribution. Okay, and but if it's doctored videos which are intended as parody or satire, lightly edited footage which simply reorders or amends spoken words, it will be given a pass. So I don't know if that's enough specificity to keep them out of trouble, but that's. But the point is, and here's the point. If you hear me say something like, get dope, bitches, you know it's probably not me. I hope you didn't spill your coffee on that one. Yeah, anyway, let's get on with this. Okay, so direct mail for 2020. This is from my friend Summer Gold. I don't really know her, but I write to her and I tell her how great I like her articles. And this is from Target Marketing, and I like it that it's Target Marketing, okay? Target Marketing, it's great if you want to have digital experts come on, but don't forget direct mail, because it's still relevant, as Summer says. According to the DMA, who we don't necessarily believe, this could be fake news, Direct mail had an average response rate of 9%. That means like for every 100 you put in the mail, you get 9 orders. I've seen higher, but for that to be an average sounds way too high, even for catalogers. Okay, and I would also say if that's what you're generating, you probably want to mail deeper into your house file. Part of the fun of direct mail is that we can optimize because there's a trade-off, counter correlation between reach and response. So the tighter your target, you could have a target where everybody responds. Maybe it's your immediate relatives that you call first and say, I'm doing this test like they did with Amazon. Amazon, Bezos called up his friends and said, would you try it, place an order? I think it was 40 people, and they all placed orders, and off we go, right? And so that will not get you a business, though. They won't keep that up. You'll have to keep paying them or something. And so the highest response isn't necessarily the best. What you want is a trade-off. You want to maximize the profit, and we have tools that help you do that. But the point is that in SEO or in pay-per-click, you have a 50% bounce rate, or with a landing page, 80% bounce rate, according to Google. So right off the bat, you've lost half your audience with digital. Now in the mail, according to this, 66% is open and reviewed. So you could say, well, that's like a 33% bounce. You could say that. But even then, there's often more of an impact because you have to actually look at it and touch it, smell it, etc., before you throw it in the trash. I wonder what this means, because reviewed, right? Reviewed, I guess that means it's unopened, but it still has to be reviewed in the sense of, is this trash or not? Okay, so direct mail cuts through the daily marketing clutter. Yeah, it's at a higher level. It's at a completely different level. It interacts with your brain in a completely different way. Okay, and campaigns that include both digital and direct mail receive 39% more attention. So if you, and I don't know if digital includes email, but a lot of times you can kind of figure out when it's coming and alert people, right? You can actually upload your addresses, physical addresses, to Facebook, to Google. You can put banner ads on cell phones, on, just on big websites, and you can find people in order to alert them to the mail coming. Okay, personalization is a little difficult because it adds a lot of expense. Sometimes it's better not to. But retargeting, I'm a big fan of. I did that webinar on Tuesday and got a lot of views, a lot of visitors. And one of the case studies in that was a retailer that took up retargeting, and it worked really, really well. Yeah, compelling envelopes is really good. Or, testing cover tests and wraps and stickers, and there's a lot of things you can do on the outside that are really important. And I think too few people test too little on that creative. All the old books, which are on my shelf behind me, say it's all about the offer. But I've been in cataloging most of my career, and it's hard to change the offers. You could do a black plate change, but the cover you can play with. And the reason you keep playing with it is because you need to build a theory. It's not enough to just take, a picture of a dog and a picture of a pine tree with snow on it and see which one does better. What you need to do is have an observation. Like for Plow and Hearth one time long ago, we noticed that they did much worse in the deep south in the winter. And part of the reason we speculated and hypothesized was that that's a snowfall in Birmingham, Alabama has a way different connotation than a snowfall in Stowe, Vermont, right? And so we applied that to what Quad Graphics calls demo bind, and we changed the cover out as a test, and that makes sense. Yeah. So test against a control, but have a theory for it. You'll never get to theory unless you first have an observation and hypothesis and then an experiment. Because what you want to do is you want to generalize into the future. And so our hypothesis that snow-covered scenes might work worse in the deep south was a reasonable test. And they did that, but Quad and I, well, Harry died, and that was kind of it for Quad and me. And Quad, I don't know exactly why, but that's the way it went. Also, as Summer points out, if you have a high-priced item, consider dimensional mail. And so we'll go over here and say, here's the mailer I did around the holidays, hand addressed. I bought these at Uline, for 50 cents a piece. It was actually cheaper to do this with parcel post. And then there's a letter with a QR code on them. See, the letter with, you can't read it, but that's what it is I put in. The part I liked the most was I put a little puzzle in it. I'll just hold it so that it shook. So we got sound, we've got physical. I should have sprayed it with chocolate smell or something, but I didn't. We got chocolate inside, M&Ms. That's the official candy of Miglosh Marketing. And we solve puzzles. That even makes noise. So anyway, all that to engage your senses and arouse curiosity. Have I made any big sales from it? No, not yet. Not yet. But I did get a few calls. And there's an offer. But I'm not going to tell you all that. So try stuff in the mail. I mean, you can do one of those. You can mail a brick, I think. Put a label on it and get somebody's attention. So mail is something worth considering. I think mail is at the point right now where the internet was in 1995. Does it even work? Does it work anymore? You need to test it. And if you need help testing, I highly recommend a starter, Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins. And it was written 100 years ago. It doesn't give you the real methodology of testing. But get in touch. Give me a call. I'll give you some other books. I got tons of books that you can read. Have a great day. Like and share. Remember, get in touch if you got some suggestions on how I can narrow the focus. Maybe one article is enough. No. This is a news show. You got to cover more than one story.